Hi everyone, I finished a couple of things this week, so I'm going to show you those along with some plans that I have. First I'll start off with what I'm wearing, which is actually from, I think about 2 years ago I made this, which is this McCalls pattern here. It's M7530 and it was, well, I said this, it's probably this one because that one has like a lace overlay. So this one here, which is the Learn to Sew for Fun range, and it's an easy pattern, but it has an elasticated waist, which I'm loving at the minute, especially as my weight has been, well, it fluctuates, but it means that it's not too tight, so it gives you a bit of extra room in there for the summer. So I will just step back quickly just so you can see it, but it's not a new make. So here, so yeah, I love this. I'm loving this, and this fabric, I'll lift the picture up, has a border print. So it has the stripes at the bottom, so when I cut it out, I just arranged it so that they went in. It's a little bit faded, because like I said, it is a couple of years old, but I put it on today because the sun has come out and the rain has stopped, believe it or not. I thought I'd just give you an update on Weather Watch. But moving on, I will show you what I've made this week. Now this item I made today, which is, I don't know if you can see it very well, it was in my June plans video. It's my daughter's school play and she has to be like a housekeeper in like British wartime 1940s era. And so when I googled it, it came up with various different things, but I needed to make sure it was British and not American because the style is very different. My daughter was adamant that she didn't want any ruffles or any sort of girly things that perhaps she would have liked when she was a bit younger. So I got this remnant, which cost me £5. It's just a metre, and I got some like sage bias binding to go with it. Now I made, so it ties. If I can talk her into it, I might insert a little clip with her actually wearing it, but she'll probably be wearing shorts and t-shirts underneath it. And this has the straps on the inside because it wraps over at the front like so, and then it has I made a pocket for her as well, although she said that the pocket was in the wrong place. But I was quite surprised I managed to squeeze that out of 1 metre of fabric because it was pushing it, and I didn't want to spend too much and have to go and buy another piece of fabric. So I'm quite pleased that that has done. All she has to do now is learn her lines. Easy, right? One thing I did do is I didn't finish the seams on my overlocker because I thought I would keep in keeping with the era, I would use my pinking shears. Now these here belong to my grandma, and I mean she died a long time ago. She probably died over 20 years ago and she was 96 when she died. So we were trying to work out how old these scissors are because they were either hers or her sister's, my great aunts. But I think they're probably about 80 years old, and there was a local shop near where I live and they were offering a scissor sharpening service. Someone was coming in and just doing like a one-off session, so I dropped my fabric scissors in, which I bought, or my dad had bought for me when we were on holiday and I was a teenager. We went to the Sheffield Steel Museum and he bought me them, and they'd never been sharpened and they were getting really blunt, so they were serviced and sharpened. And then I never realised that you could sharpen pinking shears, so they were serviced, and there was a rivet missing, I think, from this bit here, so he replaced the rivet and had them all sharpened. So now they're as good as new, but I thought I would just pink the seams because that's probably what people would have done in wartime. So the dress I'm wearing is the New Look pattern from my recent haul, which is New Look 6468. I made this version here without the pockets. As you can see that the fabric is quite a busy geometric pattern. I thought you wouldn't be able to see them. I thought they would just be camouflaged. So I made this. I'll step back so you can see. Move the chair. I can move the chair a bit easier today because my back is a lot better than what it was the other day. So this has pockets. And like the McCalls dress I was wearing, this has the elasticated waist. And it might, I don't know if it's going to go funny on camera. This has, can you see the buttons here? this is done with, I'll undo the top one so you can see. So it has belt loops that you make, button loops, sorry, not belt loops. And then it has this like modesty panel here. So when you do it up, although it has facings, that actually keeps the facings nice and neat and tidy. I made it slightly bigger than I would have done on the bust, just to give me a bit of extra ease. Let me just sit down so you can actually see me talking to you. I made it slightly bigger so I had a bit more ease around the bust, because I had a few problems last summer with making dresses which were overfitted on the bodice, so I thought that this would just give me a bit of room. It was a little bit loose, so I then did take in probably, oh, I don't know, do I say it in inches or in centimetres? Probably like a centimetre on each side, just a little bit down each side seam, just to tuck that in. Now I am finding up here, I seem to have this on a lot of things. I'm getting a lot, it's quite loose here, so it's like that hollow chest, I think it is. So whether I'm supposed to size down and then do a full bust adjustment, I'm not really sure, but I made this size so it then had the size for my waist and then for my hips, so I graded it out. I'm not really sure. If you know, then I'm welcome any suggestions in the comments box below. Now this one, the shoulders are actually finished with bias tape. I could make my own bias tape, and I've actually got a tutorial on my channel that I did a few years ago, but I was lazy and I can't be bothered because that's, you know, ironing and measuring out and things. So I had some satin bias binding left over from my Vogue dress that I made recently, and then it tucks under, and then I hand stitched it around. It's not maybe as neat as it could be, but because of the pattern fabric, I think it disguises it. So that is that, and then it has the facings at the front. But I did line the skirt, so I did an anti-static lining for the skirt, because I do just like to line. I do like to line. I'm a lining person, not a facing person. But I did line the skirt so that it doesn't stick to my legs and like ride up, but also because the weather had been a bit on the chilly side for June, I thought that it would just give that extra layer, but also stops it being a bit see-through. So the skirt part is. The buttons, I ordered them from eBay, and I went according to the size on the back of the envelope, but I don't know whether it's my button loops which are too big or the buttons are too small. I just feel like they will probably come undone. I feel like it needs a slightly bigger button. So whether I do actually do that and just try and get a bigger button, because I think it would just be a bit more secure. But in terms of where it falls on the front, it's like a decent amount of cleavage without showing your whole bra off and everything spilling out. So I'm quite happy with the way it sits. I haven't raised it in any way. This is how it falls. Now the fabric is a cotton something. I want to say cotton lawn, but I've had so many different cotton lawns and they all feel so completely different. It's a geometric print. I got it from Minerva Crafts, but it was months and months ago, so I don't know if they've still got it, and I can't remember the name of it. So, but I'm sure if you search geometric prints, then you could probably find this one or a similar one. I enjoyed this pattern. It went together quite well. The fit was good. There wasn't a ridiculous amount of ease on it. And I'm quite impressed, because in the past some new look patterns have had about 7 inches of ease at the back neck for me, and that's what put me off sewing them. But I think this is one of the new ones, so whether it's changed or whether it's just my sewing skills have changed and so I've learned to not cut maybe as big a size as perhaps what I had. Perhaps that was my downfall in the past. But it hits at a good length. It's not too short, it's not too long. I did shorten the bodice by 1 inch, but as you know, I do that on everything anyway, so that it hits me at the right point. I would like to make this one in a plain colour. I think it would look really nice in like a navy viscose with some nice wooden buttons, and I probably would add the pockets on that one. But overall, I would recommend this pattern to anybody, and I look forward to making this one again. Now my next thing is a pattern that I scored on eBay. I won on eBay, which is a Cynthia Rowley pattern by Simplicity, which is K1688. Let me show you the line drawing. It's the dress that I'm interested in, and you can see it's very plain and it doesn't flare out, and it has quite a good skirt, so it's not too fitted, but it also isn't like a big triangle. And the reason why I was looking for that shape is because I have this fabric. I got this from the charity shop because it's actually a duvet cover and it only cost me £3, and I thought, wow, that is just lending itself to like a summer dress, and because it's cotton it just feels really nice. Now this is reversible, but I think I might even use that for lining, or I'll just separate them and use that on its own. But that is what I was looking out for. So the pattern has been out a little while. It's not a new pattern, so you might be familiar with it. So if you have you made this pattern up, I haven't looked up any reviews to see if it's any good, but it looks fairly basic. So it should go together straightforward, but I will toil the bodice because that's what I always do. I know I'll probably need to shorten by 1 inch, and just check the excess and make sure it's not too big and that the straps aren't going to keep falling off. But I'm looking forward to doing that, and I think that might be my project for this week actually. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can probably keep an eye on what I'm making, but I will also put all my updates onto here because I'm trying to vlog more often because it's encouraging me to sew more often. It's also keeping me away from the biscuit tin. So let's face it, it's a win-win. So if I can lose a few pounds, make a summer dress, I've got something to wear, and if I've lost a few pounds, last year's summer dresses will actually fit a bit better than they currently do. So hopefully I can't go wrong. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you again soon.